Hey true believers, ENGLENTINE here with another weekly countdown of comic books that customers are buying. That's right, it's not what's sold to the shops, which is what you see when everybody does Comic-Con. This is what customers are actually buying from the mouths of store shop owners. We're also going to go over to Comixology and visit them and find out what digital books comic book buyers are buying. So before we get started, of course, we have to pay respects to the shops that take part in it. So please, if you are in any of these areas, seek them out. Say thank you. Buy something. Let's keep the local comic book shops open. Maybe they'll actually open more. And as they say, without further ado, let's get to the top 10 comic books bought by customers of the week of 2/7/2018. Number 10, an independent comic book by the name of Paper Girls, number of 20. 9 goes to Superman number 40 as people are enjoying it before Michael Bendis takes over. Justice League number 38 gets into the 8 spot. Swamp Thing Winter Special number 1 gets chilly reception at number 7. The Walking Dead number 176 enters the top 10 at number 6. Avengers 679 No Surrender Chapter 5 is number 5. X-Men Red number 1 returns Jean Grey to the X-Men and the X-Men to the top 10 at number 4. Amazing Spider-Man number 795 gets to the 3rd spot. In the runner-up position at number 2 is Batman White Knight number 5. Making Batman number 40 the number 1 comic of 2/07/2018. Wow, 2 independent comic books in the top 10, Paper Girls and Walking Dead. That was for a strange dichotomy. Now, Marvel lost out this week, of course, with only 3 in the top 10, but it was 5, 4, and 3. They had more in the top 5 than DC did. However, of course, Batman wins because it's Batman and ended up getting the 1 and 2 spot. Not surprised at that, just surprised at the showing that Marvel had in the 3 spots before it. And of course, my favorite part of the week is finding out what the comic shops had to say about the week. So without further ado, Marvel is continuing to gain back some readers with the new books they're putting out. 4 of the top 10 books at FFF this week were Marvel books. And X-Men Red was the 2nd best seller of the week. Avengers is still holding strong, defying expectations as the number 4 top seller, just behind Batman White Knight. Turns out people are willing to buy a weekly Avengers book, even if it doesn't have close to anything to do with the cinematic release. It's actually kind of refreshing to see Marvel get back to some lapsed fans, while also appealing to a few new readers. The Infinity Countdown Warlock issue also made the top 10 surprisingly. Mike Allred is a definite needle mover, and it's not a huge shock to see him sell a book, but to see a $5 book sell so well is a bit of a shock. Amazing Spider-Man rounded out Marvel's tortoise-like climb back to relevancy with the first appearance of the Red Goblin. Demand shot up, and we were nearly sold out by Wednesday night. For what it's worth, DC is still selling better on average. The remainder of the top 10 was a healthy mix of books from both of the big 2. Batman was still the week's top seller, and White Knight just fell slightly below of X-Men Red. Superman has dropped a bit in recent weeks, but I have a feeling once Bendis jumps in, we'll see a big uptick in the book sales, at least for a little bit. On the indie side of things, Walking Dead and Paper Girls were the only non-big 2 books to make the top 20 this week, both managing to land in the back half of the top 10, being broken up by Amazing. Both books have a solid readership that doesn't fluctuate too much in either direction. I was a little worried that Walking Dead going up $1 an issue might give some readers pause, but the Fantastic Sankovic variants have actually drawn some new readers, some even buying both covers. The New World Order storyline in Walking Dead has kind of piqued my interest a bit more. It was waning for Walking Dead, tell you the truth. But I do find it surprising that Marvel, their not meteoric rise, there is the slow rise, the sloth-like rise. It seems to be the big story these days, rather than the fact that DC Comics has been flat out dominating for months now. Oh my! Marvel got 5 in our top 10 this week. Amazing Spider-Man blew out the door thanks to some article on Bleeding Cool letting everyone know they could flip it to make some money. X-Men Red made it in, but for a first issue it only came in 8th place, which isn't that good for a new first issue. Walking Dead barely made it into our top 10 at 10th. Avengers is rocking, even at a weekly pace, much better than when it had all the useless third-rate Avengers spin-offs. Batman, of course, took the top spot. Yeah, I saw that article. I wasn't interested in it because, man, just cater to the speculator crowd that destroyed the nearly destroyed the comic book industry in the 90s. Let's do that, why don't we? It turns out people love Batman, like a lot. They also like swamp monsters, zombies, and time-traveling teenage girls, although to a slightly lesser degree. They like Spider-Man a little bit more than they did a few weeks ago, and Superman and Star Wars maybe just a little bit less. Swamp Thing edged out Batman White Knight for number 2 spot, and White Knight sells amazing, so Swamp Thing was definitely a strong book and a pleasant surprise. X-Men Red might have legs over the coming weeks, but I would have thought that the hype would have translated into higher sales this week. Our standout, as always, was Paper Girls, but Batman White Knight number 5 and the Wicked and Divine 1923 one-shot are holding strong, tied for second in our top 10. We sold out of Amazing Spider-Man 795 this week because of that reveal at the end. Speculators were all over it. One that didn't quite make our bestsellers this week, but was close, is Ivan Brandon and Esad Ribic's new Image series Versus. Even though it hasn't made a huge splash with our customers yet, there's definitely interest in it, so hopefully it picks up more readers before the next one comes out. Yeah, I would love to review some of these independent comic book number 1s as individual reviews, but if one thing I found out, nobody's interested in independent comic book reviews. It would die a quick death on the vine. This week's sales were about what we expected, with 2 new Batmans, but Marvel wasn't looking too shabby this week either. Still surprised at the popularity of Avengers No Surrender, and let's hope X-Men Red can keep up this momentum. Good sales week! Very nice to see considering the miserable trends this winter. 4-4 split of the big 2 books and 2 Image series. Batman take the top 2 spots with Walking Dead just behind for 3. Marvel's top 5 spots belong to Amazing Spider-Man, a licensed sci-fi book. Bottom half is your usual superhero team books and Superman, with Paper Girls making it to number 10 for the week, meaning 2 of Marvel's launch books this week did not make the list. X-Men Red underperformed significantly. Infinity Countdown Adam Warlock also did not set the shelves on fire. My personal opinion is having a cover artist so drastically different from the interiors is a mistake. I happen to love all Red, but plenty of people do not. People did not come back in droves for part 2 of Milk Wars. The biggest surprise is that both DC 80-page special, Swamp Thing and Young Monsters in Love, made it into our store's top 10. The surprising news was that Avengers fell out of our store's top 10 this week, and that Doomsday Clock number 3 took a spot in the top 10 for a 3rd week in a row, beating out all but 7 of this week's releases. A strong lineup forced every Marvel out of the top 10 other than X-Men Red, which took 4th place. Marvel did place 10 books between 11th and 20th, however. This is one of those things that says more than what it's saying, because if the back 20 or the back 10 of the top 20 are Marvel, that means DC's being completely shut out, except for the few that were in the top 10. And that means that the slow rise of Marvel is pushing DC all the way down the sales charts again. This could come to, I don't know. Well, okay, what I'm trying to say is we push Marvel so much talking about how bad it is, and then, hey, this got better, that we are actually ignoring the fact that DC has been consistently good. And I'm putting this on the backs of critics, of myself, of the YouTube commentators, of websites, and so forth. Anyway, that's the market surrounding what everybody's calling floppy. I don't like that term. Anyway, let's go on over to Comixology and check out what the digital top 20 are and see which company won the week. For the first time, actually, last week, I was able to announce Marvel as the winner. Let's see how they fare this week. See, I just did it again. I'm talking about Marvel rather than the fact that DC had been awesome for the entire months prior to that, for all the time I've been doing this. Number 10, Avengers, number 679. Number 9 goes to Wicked and Divine, 1929. Number 8, Injustice 2, number 44. This fell a couple of spots this week. In the 7th spot is Star Wars, number 43. At number 6, Justice League, number 38. Superman, number 40, comes in at number 5. X-Men Red, number 1, takes the 4 spot. Batman White Knight, number 5, goes home with a bronze at number 3. Taking home the silver, to continue the Olympics analogy, is Batman at number 2. And bringing home the gold at number 1 is The Walking Dead, number 176. The only surprise, Walking Dead tends to be in the top 5 and sometimes takes number 1, so that's not a big surprise. This is just a copy of the floppies because you have 2 independents, 3 Marvel, and 5 DC. So, yeah, it's just like the floppies, just in different order. Well, okay, so we start off the top 20, or going into the back half of the top 20, 5 DC, 3 Marvel. Let's see how it ends. At number 11, Amazing Spider-Man 795 closes the gap. Number 12 sees Paper Girls number 20 adding another to the independent comic book pile. And at number 13, X-Men Gold number 21 ties it up. DC Marvel 5-5. At number 14, Nightwing number 38 makes it DC 6, Marvel 5. Spider-Man number 237 makes it 6-6 again. At number 15. At number 16, Runaways number 6 makes the score 7-6 in Marvel's favor. They take the lead. Green Lantern number 40 enters back at number 17 with the best cover of the week and tying the game 7-7. Number 18 sees Swamp Thing Winter Special number 1 making it 8-7 DC's favor. Not going quietly into the night, Marvel ties it up again. Infinity Countdown number 1, Adam Warlock, brings the score 8-8. 8-8, ladies and gentlemen, plus 3. That's 19. Let's see who breaks the tie. Green Arrow number 37 breaks the tie, 9-8. 3 independents in the countdown. Let me tell you, my dream countdown would be where it's 8-6-6 independents DC Marvel. And I don't care who would win that contest, I just think it'd be really, really cool. Anyway, that's the countdown. That's my opinions on what has to be said, and my opinions on the countdowns themselves. What do you think? Is there something you like so much? Man, why aren't people buying it enough and it's not in the countdown week? Like, say, I would love to see Thanos and Daredevil every time out. What is your book? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, you want to see more, please click like, click share, click subscribe to see more. Even if you think you're subscribed, check it out because YouTube's been messing up my channel recently. Also, make sure that that bell is rung so you don't miss anything, because you know what? Cool things happen around these parts, if I do say so myself. Now, this is usually when I talk about Patreon, and I'm about to, but I filmed a video, and the sound is a little bit different, so please make sure it's down just a little bit now, so in case it's louder than usual, it doesn't blast your eardrums. Here you go. Hey, true believers, Englentine here. Now, you've heard me say on many a video, this is my only job, so please go on over to Patreon, drop $1 in the till. Help us keep the lights on, help us keep making videos for you. So I decided, here's something nice to do. Why not, in order to say thank you, have a graphic novel giveaway? And so I figured, why not? And Superman in the 70s is this month's giveaway to anybody who donates $1 or more. The drawing will be on March 6th. We do have 2 tiers. When available, we're going to be giving away hardcovers as well. And this month we're doing both. One for the $1 or more and one for the $5 or more. This month's graphic novel is Batman Illustrated by Neil Adams, Volume 2. Just to give you a little look at what it's all about, I've got my copy right in front of me. And a lot of people thought that it was Frank Miller who returned Batman to greatness. But if you ask me, it was Neil Adams. Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil, man. They wrote some great stories. They made some great stories. And Neil Adams' atmospheric art just looks great. It looks amazing. And this book, it is just such a great compilation. And even as you get all of these stories right here, and then you get introductions and forwards, so you get the history behind it as well as the stories. So yes, please go on over to Patreon, drop $1 in the till, get in the running to win Superman in the 70s, or drop $5 or more in the till and get in the running to win Batman illustrated by Neil Adams Volume 2. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, thank you very, very much for watching.